Greetings and salutations, good friends. It is I, your humble host Steve, here to talk about comics. A few thoughts on comics from the week of Comic Week starting 1/26, 2011. And here, this is going to be the video that's going to take care of everything that I got this week, apart from the Fantastic Four Death issue that came out this week. That's in a separate video. So in the event that you haven't read the issue yet, or you haven't had the death or the individual who died spoiled for you yet, you want to maintain that secrecy for a while, that's all in a separate video, and you can let it sit there until you've had a chance to read the book, or until it's finally spoiled for you, whichever comes first. So we're going to go into the rest of them. I'm going to try not to talk for forever as I can in general. So you let me ramble and I will do it. Avengers 9. Still more action-packed, high-ranking stuff. Last week in the Avengers Academy, we got kind of the build-up to this storyline, some of the pieces that came into place, and we get some more of the detail now from the backstory surrounding how the villain in question that's been running around got loose, kind of got some of the information he got, and how he's been running around and collecting the Infinity Gems. And the other part of it is now the Avengers, all 3 or 4 groups that show up for this, are now finding out about the Illuminati, the secret meeting of a number of the high-ranking, smart, if you will, individuals that have been meeting since the Kree Skrull War, secretly trying to prevent a lot of these bad things from happening and setting up the bad things that are going to happen in here. So you get a nice Steve Rogers, Tony Stark fight, because Steve's like, I should know about all this stuff, and Tony's going, you didn't really need to know about this stuff, and he's like, I need to know about all this stuff, and he goes, well, we've been doing this for a lot longer than you've been in charge, and that just makes it worse. So not a whole lot actually occurs in this issue, but it is a whole stirring up all the pots, and a couple of different things are going on at once. And so it's definitely putting itself in a position where we can then move on to the next phase in the story, which will hopefully be more action-packed like the last few. And we got New Avengers number 8. I'm very Avengery. We've got a lot of Avengers to cover this week. This one, New Avengers, the nice thing that I like about the fact that if Bendis is going to be writing both the standard Avengers book and New Avengers, is that he does seem to be trying to keep a different tone in each. The adjective list, or what at one point would have been the Mighty Avengers, is a much more action-packed, kind of upbeat, kind of more let's go and do big things and stuff explodes, at the same time having a good solid story to it. Whereas the New Avengers is still in the style that he's been doing for the New Avengers for the last however many years we had the New Avengers style. It's like 6, 5? Man, it doesn't seem like it should have been that long, but still. So it's more dialogue orientated. We're still getting big stories, if you will, just like in the Mighty Avengers. These are things that you have to have Avengers to deal with. But at the same time, a lot of this issue even is taken up with Luke Cage and his wife Jessica going out and trying to determine whether she's going to get back into the superhero biz or not. Or is she going to stay more at home with their child and things like that. So you get a big superhero battle around it, but at the core of it is this conversation, which takes up pages and pages and pages. So if you're not into the Bendis, writing characters having a real conversation, then you're still not going to like this book. That said, beyond that, I dig it, and the art's good, and Spider-Man gets to be funny, and all that. So for me, not a problem. I'm liking it. On the other hand, I'm still not sure why I'm not that excited about Uncanny X-Men of late. This one's 532. It's not that there's bad art. Clearly, it's still a shiny, shiny art. I don't know if it's because it can't. I like Matt Fraction's writing, so I don't think that's it either. It might just be that we've gotten to a point where they've moved away enough, trying to set up this community, that maybe he's trying to serve too many characters at once, that there's not really a core grouping, or is it just that the core grouping I don't care about anymore? I really don't know. It's another issue in a row where Wolverine gets to do something really cool for like a page or two, and I just went, okay, you know, and I don't know why. Like I said, I really like Wolverine. You know, and people call me Wolverine because of the sideburns, and it doesn't bother me because I like Wolverine. But it's not that cool stuff isn't happening in this issue or in this book, but it's leaving me very flat, and I still have not completely figured out why. And I really hope I figure out why soon, because I just keep going, and just going, maybe I should just drop it. I can get Wolverine. I can see Wolverine in Avengers books, and that might be fine. But to drop Uncanny after all these years just seems really odd. It's really the only other X book I get. I don't get any other X books, so it just seems right to have, you know, the flagship, if you will. But it doesn't continue to entertain me. There's no point in it. Secret Avengers 9. 3 Avenger books, 1 week. I didn't plan it, but okay. The Secret Avenger stuff is at Brubaker, so it's kind of still... Secret Avengers is almost currently his Steve Rogers Captain America book with other guys around him, while Bucky Cap is in Captain America. Almost like, hey, we're going to give Steve his own book, but he's going to have a team. So it's still the high... It's still this high-action superhero spy book, almost. It's almost like... Okay. If you haven't read this before, this is okay. I think I got it. Back in the 60s, you had westerns that were real big on television and spy stuff for a while because of the James Bond. So you had Man from U.N.C.L.E., you had all these spy shows that were popping up. And then you got Wild Wild West, which was trying to meld the western stories that were really big and the spy stuff that was really big. So you got all the gadgetry and all that stuff. If they had a 60s superhero TV show at the time that was not trying to be completely ridiculous and entertaining, it would be Secret Avengers. Which is almost kind of the Avengers TV show, but not. But moving on from that, I'm digging it. We've got the, you know, just having Shang-Chi in a team book is kind of cool. And the, you know, we're going to try and revive his dad, who we can't name because that character's, you know, all that sort of stuff. So, and this issue really doesn't get it a whole lot further. We get some detail on some of the characters that have been working for the Shadow Council. But again, it's another one of those where this one progresses the story at least a little bit. We have the trading of hostages and stuff like that, so there's not a, you know, we're still kind of moving in some of those classic spy things in that regard, though, too. Hey, speaking of Captain America, 614, the trial moves forward. Finally, it feels like something's happening in the trial. It feels like we've kind of set this up for 3 or 4 issues, and now things are starting to happen, kind of boom, boom, boom. Black Widow and Falcon get captured by the bad guys, and they get strapped to a bomb at the Statue of Liberty, and then Bucky has to go, hey, can I go help them? And they go, we really shouldn't. And we get to see a lot of the trial, which actually worked out pretty entertainingly. I enjoyed the trial sequences. They seemed dramatically realistic. I'm not a lawyer, so I have no clue if they make any sense from a lawyer perspective. But as someone who's watched, you know, Perry Masons over the years, and Matlocks, and Rumpole the Bailey, which I just got a big DVD set with, you know, I'm used to seeing television shows that are set in courtrooms, and from that perspective, it kind of clicked and felt good from that. And like I said, it kept moving. This one actually, it felt like we got somewhere, and I appreciated that, even it's 4 or 5 issues in, whatever it is now. Punisher in the Blood, issue 3, something like this. Rick Remember, I've been really enjoying his Punisher work. This miniseries seems to be him trying to get recent Punisher history to come to a head, so to speak, and just kind of get it over and done with. Beyond that, I'm really not sure what the goal is here with this, apart from just... I think the thing that dismays me the most, even though I've been enjoying it, is that Frank's just kind of running around. We're not really getting a lot. We're getting his perspective, but he seems to be running around just kind of doing what Frank does best. But we're not going into any detail about that because we're spending our time with the bad guys, so to speak, with Jigsaw and with the guys that he's working with, and all that. So we're seeing a lot more of their perspective on how they're trying to get to Frank and what they've been doing to get underneath his skin, more so than seeing Frank calculate and try and be smart and everything. He clearly knows he's going off the edge at this point, and that kind of bothers me because it's like he's just come back. We just got Frank Castle back to normal and all that, and we're gonna make him go crazy right away again. It's like, but it is only 2 more issues, so I know it's going to move at a pretty good clip. And I don't know if they have another Punisher series set up for after this, so this might actually be a pretty interesting ending yet. They did have a twist in the last issue that gets developed more at this point, so we find out some detail. And part of me wants to mention it. It's harsh. One of the characters turns, no, you know what? No, it's just mean, and I do enjoy the meanness of it. But beyond that, it's moving along all right. Futurama Comics 53. This one's not too bad. Some of the recent Futurama comics were as not so good as some of the recent Futurama episodes. But this one's not. This one's delightfully crazy. There's cannibalistic robots in it, which is just kind of a weird concept and makes Bender kind of nervous. And but beyond that, it's funny. It's not outstanding. It was humorous. Last but not least, oh good grief, let's wrap this up. Walt Disney Comics 715. Little number dyslexia, sorry. 70th anniversary of the book. First story is just a high energy salute to 70 years of Disney Comics. There are characters popping up all over this story. Oh wow, was that fun. It's a cute little fun little story about, hey, we're going to put on a show essentially, and things going wrong, and people stepping up, because that's what you do when you're a Disney character and you see somebody in trouble. You put on a show. In that regard, at least, anyway. So this is one of the first of the Boom kind of trying to mix some of the old stories and the new stories together. I'm really digging it. There's a nice combination of different stories in here, different characters. One of the more fun ones, the cover actually does occur in the book. There is a story where Donald goes and trades houses with the 3 little pigs, so then the big bad wolf is chasing him, and he has to team up with little bad wolf and defeat his dad. So that's kind of wild. But this was it was one of the more fun ones. Mainly just before the anniversary, and it was much fun. Let me see. Where's the? There's a big splash where everybody's in the theater, and you get a good where I'm just going, hey, look, it's, oh, here we go. There's one of them. Where you're just going, hey, look at all the characters. Hey, look, there's Peter Pan. Hey, look, there's Tinkerbell. Hey, look, there's Pluto. Hey, look, there's that plane from that movie whose name I can't remember. I didn't even realize he was in a comic. And Friar Tuck from the Robin Hood cartoon, Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Oh man, Alice in Wonderland characters from the movie, from the animated movie. I was going to say the good ones, but I don't know. I haven't seen both of them. Prince John even. Bucky Bug from the cartoon. So for an extra $1, wow. It was a really fun Disney comic read. But again, I suppose if you don't have an interest in that already, this is not going to drag you in just because it's the anniversary issue. But if you have any kind of interest in Disney comic, this would be a fun one to get, I think. Just for the variety and just for the anniversary story and the amusement behind it. So, okay. I've been talking for a long time into a camera that no one will want to watch this. And I got to find a way to make these shorter. I talk too much. Anyway, till next time.